Hello. I actually feel like going inside. I guess I think that was just all I had for tonight. I didn't lag. I just realized that I'm just new to this and I got a lot of stuff going on and I'm trying to keep a lot of things together. And I think that was a good video. I think I just should just wing y'all in to what I'm gonna be talking about next. I'm not really gonna go through this because I got so much to talk about. Because there's a car coming. Yeah, there's no such thing as marriage, no such thing as bondage in relationships. But I just want to let y'all know because I'm uploading this tonight. It's gonna be a tough one for a lot of people. Just know that aliens is an animal. I don't kill insects and stuff. I'll be letting daddy long legs stay in my house and all that stuff, man. I'm like, man, you good. You know what I'm saying? Actually, once you go back to nature, insects will heal you. Insects will bite you and inject you with certain pores that are meant to heal you. You know, I've had it happen to me. I've had it taught to me, and also the plants. When you get ill, if you ever get ill, you're supposed to be eating everything around you or other plants around you, and your senses are supposed to be so high that they lead you to a cure. The plants will, and we used to be so in tune with nature as fabricators or just being telekinetic as we were forming into these beings that we can actually see these energy streams in the astra of the fabricate of these dimensions in which we were fabricated by in order to follow them to the cure or food or sex or dimensions that we were going to have sex with another nympho or fabricator. Once again, people childish. I don't deal with that. That's something I don't do. No, I'm playing. So, that's not what I was gonna say. What I was gonna say was, as I was taught by these aliens, this is serious. I knew a lot. I knew I had a lot to learn still, and a whole lot more to learn now. And I'm still going through it. And they trained me like they were torturing me like I was some mob hostage, some POW from Desert Storm. I forgot what game that was. But it was like 2002 PS2, I think. Yeah, PS2. So and nobody was rescuing my ass. Nah, it was some. They had some good aliens. There's good aliens out there. Like um, they had like no, those Foo Fighters are actually called the brigade of people in the United States or around the world or somewhere in the world in which they deploy them. The Foo Fighters, and they're also a band, a cool band. I like them, and they actually deploy just in case we have alien invasion. So this is another reason why I know they got weapons of mass destruction. Now they got great technology out there to waste away any problems that if we did have any problems. So maybe aliens have visited and they are living amongst us. There's really some MIB going on because that's what they do. That's really what they do. Just to be honest with you. If anybody ever wants to have me polygraph, if these videos ever blow up or anything of the sort of the matter, and they don't believe me, you know, I'll pay for it. I ain't tripping. But if you willing to bring down your dude or whatever, or and they certified, I gotta check that paperwork too, because people gonna try to discredit me or whatever. And I show it to the public. The public can vote on it or whatever you may have you. I take that polygraph test a millionfold. I promise you. I do it in my sleep, like them aliens were teaching me in my sleep. I mean, it was times they wouldn't even let me sleep because they asked me questions. They was teaching me constantly, constantly. I was asleep and I answered them hoes every single time. You ain't finna get me on nothing. I promise you. They had me running, and it all came from you know, they taught me about dick throwing and stuff like that. And I ain't trying to get out subject, but they 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 knew I was down for it. They knew I was really I was down to learning. They knew that, and it was hard. It was super hard, man. Some days you have to wake up and they gave you the power of telekinesis, and you have to do a lot of stuff just to keep up, with them, and they pushed you like that. It was real hard, and I was like homeless, no shoes, ain't eat on nothing, so I was like half out. I was like passed out, pair of pants, shirt I done wore for months, and all types of deal, and they had me doing all telekinetic stuff, and you know, um, the idea is for you to put on the front so people don't believe what's going on with you is really going on with you. And they had alien generals out there like passing out CDs at Venice Beach and stuff like that, and people be out there thinking that that's what they doing, and then people laughing at them hobos or all types of deal. Like, nah, them niggas be in training, and that was one of them. And really, them niggas would be looking fly. Some of them that's like suspicious, and they like in cahoots with like everybody else at the beach and stuff like that. That's because they all a squad. And they all know each other. They all talk. And people just be around their trainees. And some people that, left and did good after it. And they still come back and, salute and realize what's really going on. But it's really some MIB. There's some real deep stuff going on around here. And they continue to constantly tell me that it's a lot more going. And they told me my ultimate goal was just to chill and have sex. Come to find out, just sex is, what we just do, and we have to pass on our genes because everything's going to continue to get better. There's no such thing as immortal life, and as you continue to pass on your genes, you continue to live, and those are called your children is what you would call everlasting life, along with being a part of the universe. You're not supposed to be not born. You're not supposed to be buried in caskets. You're supposed to be buried in dirt, so you become like, so you can desecrate in the ground and actually become the universe. It is just what it is, and we eat the grass. Lion King. So, so that's why I said that. So I'm referencing to how it's trained because you had to. I say this again, niggas drifting around here and shit. Somebody else at 11 o'clock at night. I'm posting a video on bullshit. So, I'm not in the right. Because people be stuck in this mindset. What the fuck? So people be stuck in this mindset to a certain perspective that they're holding on to because they're afraid of the truth or afraid of advancing in their life, in their spiritual life, in their energy life. Once you get past all this stuff, you realize that things open up energetically, spiritually, physically, personally, all types of deal because everything is run off of energy, electricity, and it's just absolutely true. No matter how many roads and which road go this way and this, that, and the other, you can still find a transformer around this bitch, or you can still fall off a cliff and find the love of your life, or you could just live all year long and not do a single thing, be the richest person in the world, so on and so forth. Different combinations and different complexities of energies, and we all grow. We all grow because we are all plants, and it is just what it is. It's just a part of our cycle. You know what I'm saying? Growth as in getting taller, no. Growth as in just life experiences. Is called that's what you would call enlightenment. Perfect word because we're talking about emitters, omitters, the pentagram we just spoke about, elevating. So it's called enlightenment. Inside of me, lighten me, so I can continue to elevate. Enlightenment. You're meant to go to the light from the inside out, spiritually, physically, and through this electricity, it'll move you on in your life some more. That's why it's called enlightenment. Everything's electronic, so it's just real. So a lot of people have these blocks, and scientifically, how do I say this? Scientifically, these would just be like mental blocks, and or you're dealing with a certain type of emotion. This is why they would call it sin. Or this is why they'll be like you're in descent instead of being enlightened, because um, you're dealing with a certain aspect of your life that you won't face, and you need an intervention. You need to be ventilated and reinstalled in order to intervene, so you could, I don't know what word that is, so you can seek satisfaction in what you're really looking for, so you can be content and fulfilled, so then you can be enlightened, so you can elevate from there, right? So these aspects in which people would not face will be called desin, desin. Actually, it's not called. That's not how you spell it. I can't spell. No, I'm playing. You it spelled something. Is I think it's DESEND. Descend, descend. Yeah, I'm tripping, but the words still go the same, because where I'm going to, while you're in dissension, the second syllable is sin. That's where I'm going to. Scientifically, psychologically, this would mean you will not. You're in combat with an emotion, with the frequency, with a certain dimension that you are not trying to overcome. So you're stuck scientifically, electronically, in a dimension, in a world, in the energy frequency that you will walk throughout your path of your life. That's why another reason why they're like, money is real all evil. You always think about it. You can't get past the dissension, because we have to elevate onto nature without a currency splitting us up from nature and having the infinity of all things, because it's any it's an inequality to the biometrics of all things, which are infinite. You know, this is why we get money, because we just want to have children. Women and men, it's the same deal. You know what I'm saying? We're so used to having the infinity, and this is where we come from, of everything, that we will clamor for money, because we're just so used to everything being infinite. You know what I'm saying? I don't need money in my pocket, but money in my pocket is just a representation of the nature that was usually around me, that I can just have sex with as many women I possibly want, and the it stops the woman from being extremely predatorial towards men and men of all nature, and it all puts us in descent, because then a woman could just choose whoever she wants to have sex with, and it isn't no delaying, having children, or even thinking about how to provide for them, because we will have the infinity of nature. But moving on, because that's another subject, we're just putting that out there. That's why we do not need money. All we need is nature, because it's so infinite, and we got alchemy, science, all that, the whole deal. So, so where am I at? Where am I at? So you'll be in dissension. You will be in constant sin. The church. This is what the church would say. Christians would say. Religions would say. And these dimension would be uh, an aspect of a world. So these words, good or evil, or angels and demons, wouldn't necessarily mean good or bad. They might just describe an emotion, or uh, a frequented layout of a certain situation, or life situation that you might just be going through. And that's why they would call it a dimension, or being enlightened, constant elevation. Once you elevate, you'll be in a dimension again, and you'll be in constant elevation. That's why having sex is so important. Why is that? Let me see. I don't want to. I shouldn't have jumped so far, but I guess man, that's a whole nother topic though. But I guess just having sex is just it's constant information. You guys can find out exactly why you both were there, just to have that child and that recombination, and that universe is also speaking to you guys to have that child, to come up with another solution, to come up with another creator, come up with another God, um, and so you guys can create another world, another universe. You in I first vagina. Uh, Yeah, so you create another dimension to help you guys out with that dimension that you guys are in. But oh, that's where I'm tripping. See, I just dealt with the dimension there. Um, these dimensions don't mean that you're in descent, or these sins don't mean that you're actually dealing with uh, a sin actually, because this nature all comes from darkness, from the foundation in which everything comes from, and it was never meant to be sought out like that. It's just friction in which you soon find out the answer to. It never has to be like in the aspects of like good and evil or anything like that. Everything's happening for a reason. Everything's different. Um, there are frequencies in which explain these things, and we are intellectual enough to realize when we're actually being hurt by being in, we know, okay, nigga, you are evil, or that person is evil. We got that. If that's what this dimension is saying and it's pointing out as us being the solution towards a problem, then everything would equate in harmony towards, you know, that cancer, or that part of nature that is harming us as a whole. Then we can say all together in harmony, government's corrupt. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to like throw it out there or nothing like that. We're all stuck in a dimension, in this frequency. We are happy and they are wrong. You know what I'm saying? And we need to get out. This is what this dimension is a part of. And until we get over that, um, until we uh, get all back in harmony like we are, we can never be enlightened and get out of this dimension. This is based upon reality, and this is based on reality, electronically, everything, and then we'll elevate to a new era, which would be another sector of different types of dimensions. An era, um, it's just another district of different types of elements. I mean, information in which we become enlightened from. It'll probably have a better frequency and all types of deals. Great play. So, oh, that's why I'm explaining this. I know what I'm doing. I'm setting this up for. So, um, this is why they would call these things demon, because you would be dealing with a dimensionalized portion of yourself that's dealing with this electricity and this attraction that you've obtained from either a different being with a certain type of frequency. And this is what the aliens also told me. They were like, um, the only person that can free you is yourself. And this is what is always told in everything. You are what you eat, you are what you attract, and stuff like that. But sometimes other people are attracted to you because you got stuff that's in you that's being attracted to them, or foe or pa. You know, that's the only reason why they're there, because they're attracted for some type of reason. You just got to find out what it is, and it is you. You know what I'm saying? So people like, I got demons in me or stuff like that. Some in you that's attracting them demons. As they would say in those books, all different types of religions. Like the person without sin, he's innocent. You can't really do nothing. But you got a lot of different eras and different books where innocent people are always killed or dimensionalized and stuff like that. And, you know, so it doesn't always regulate in that way. But they always say the pure hearts can't be touched, this and that, and the other. But we are all growing, so necessarily we're not born to sin. We're all natural, and all these feelings and emotions are natural. We are completely. That just means we are completely without sin, whether we do good things or not. We're just natural, living our ways, but we're growing. We're always elevating. You can't go past the darkness and get what pitch black or something like that. You can keep elevating towards the light until you are reborn again into the darkness and recycle. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean, like that. So we are at a foundation and always emitting towards the light, and we're constantly growing. So without sin, and we're just constantly learning. You know, so sometimes we would get in sin, you know, in dissension, being suspended until we elevate, become enlightened, and we just deal with different frequencies that attribute to these emotions that we're familiar with, and then those can be categorized and, you know, put in their brackets as it may from there. You know what I'm saying? And if your ass is bad or evil, you fucking evil. You know what I'm saying? Let's not be stupid. We still know the difference between right and wrong. You know, it's just another part of our mindsets, and spirituality. It's just different dimensions in which we understand things from. You know, that's what our orishas and chakras are about. We still know black and white. You know, it's just different layers. Everything is I don't it's dimensionalized. It's dimensionalized. It has, you know, they have quarters of different, like, you know, cones, circles, different platforms, and all types of deals. It's more than just colors, sounds, frequencies, lights, and emotions. It's just all types of different combinations that come into play when it comes to just a life cycle and energy paths in general that just make up things or situations in life. Period. You know, you just go through a time in your life, and so much transcendence is going on throughout your life that you it's past your own, it's beyond your understanding. So I'm just saying this right here. So I dealt with that in a term in which I had to grow, and everybody goes through it because all we do is grow in our lives, in which I was blocked intellectually. And a lot of people deal with this because of misinformation and corruption and the stuff we were institutionalized by. Boy, it got cold in the mud around here. This is crazy. And that's why I'm about to go in too. This is San Diego. I don't get cold like this, boy. I'm freaky going on right here. Sit that in my head is cold in the bud. Around here, cold in the mug around the mug. Cold in the mug. So, what I was saying is that everybody goes through the growing process, but in terms of us breaking the mold of like education, knowing the truth, they had to push me. People had to push me. Aliens had to push me after everything that I knew. And I'm going to tell more about that story later, but this is what happened. So I was at the beach, Venice Beach, in which they was teaching me every night. I had to come back. I had to learn something new from telekinetically, or just some more information, or just more about art or music in general, whatever I was good at and stuff like that. That's what they attribute to your elements and what you're good at. Like my element is thunder, and my element is thunder. Thundrer, and it it has a storyline to the rapture, um, a raptor, a rapper, which is voodoo for which is voodoo for a biomechanic that either speaks or manufactures like a clap, like you know how they have like venereal diseases that have like clap and like it's really strong and you don't know it hits you until it hits you, and when it hits you, it really hits your ass or hits you, or really when it hits you, it really hits you, hits your behind. I gotta edit all these videos. I really gotta slow down because I got a lot of video editing to do if I keep doing that, and I just want to slang them out. But my element is thunder, so um, that means part of my conversation reel is that I add up to my element and my points, and as soon as I get up to my point, it'll my point or my raps or my scientific nature, it adds up. It accumulates energy and sound, and as soon as it needs to hit it, hits its point, like through my geographical means, that means I'm also what I need to say is that our astrology and our cosmetology and our geographics is also how you're made. Your being is literally connected to elements out there in nature. So you get happy as a being, like flowers get happy. You get mad, or a star out in somewhere billions of light years away turns up and you know is having friction with a different star out there. Your being will like light up or get happy, or you will want to do backflips and stuff like that. But I got scared enough. But that's pretty much how your being works in coordinates with the universe. So what do I need to say? Let me see. I don't know why I got cold all of a sudden, but basically, okay. So that's my element. So just know that you work elementary by the elements that you were made by, primarily made by. You imitate animals or a certain element in nature. Talking about you like fishes, I like frogs because you probably either was reincarnated by one, or you probably was this element once upon a time in which we were all at one point in time, and then you just formed into this person. You recap on your reincarnation of how you used to love being that one thing, you know what I'm saying? And or you just admired that being at that time as you were something else, no matter what it was or whatever story you told. The story of the African Orishas, the chakras and religions in which we get all this stuff from is actually stories, even from Egyptology, the Median Kingdom, that speaks upon the religions of the Orishas, in which all these religions stemmed from, which is the African culture. Actually, is speaking. They actually have their writings and their books, and the information of the religions actually translated through the geographics and the elements of the universe. So this so so that means these Bibles that comes all the way from us in Egypt and stuff like that, all that stuff is all talking about is nature. It's how nature formed everything. So that was debunked. Like I didn't even mean to put that out there already, but I just did. That's literally where all this stuff came from. That's but also will humble you from like you know, um, being envious of somebody or envious of things around us, and you know, it's great stories. A book about that's the bestseller, and they're trying to implement that all across the world and colonize people through the Bible, and it really came from like African the African cultivators that spoke the knowledge of the universe through the um through the tellings of which the nature was speaking to them, or they were translating it from nature, or they learned it through the sciences that they learned through nature into that book that they stole and try to manipulate and give it back to us by, you know what I'm saying? And they use this. This is also what they use the Benin Kingdom to use to translate our body functions, um, uh, in healthcare and in your astrology and physiologically, uh, uh, philosophy, anthropology. They used it for absolutely everything, and they use it in their schools, and they use geography, nature. Absolutely 100% true. Look it up. Um, but So people be like, I'm dealing with, demons and stuff. It just means that you haven't been enlightened yet, and this is why. And this is also folklore for um, when a certain savior comes up and actually enlightens you, or that savior is so enlightened that that demon can't mess with them because they know the truth so well, and so on and so forth. This is also folklore for that. It's just that person gets you out of that dimension through that knowledge. Really, that's why they hit you with them scriptures, and I'm like, oh, I'm so enlightened. I'm so revealed. I feel like a weight been lifted off my shoulder. That's what I've been dealing with. And this, you just got out of that, that translation. You just got out of that transition. Now you're on a different energy wave. No longer have to deal with those demons. You know what I'm saying? It's all science. Now you're walking somewhere else and completely past them people. So all complete science. It's the same way that nature evolutionizes amongst itself and dealing with different naturistic things, evolution of different things like polar bears, dealing with Antarctica, different weeds in the ground or bacteria that's been passed and actually, made crops, or, however you want to put it. It's all nature. It's all the same thing. But this is where I'm going to leave this out, because this is a hard subject to talk about, because people have a really hard time with this kind of information, because I had to go through it. And I was at the beach. Like I said, I rewinded back. I was at the beach, like I was saying. And the aliens had me on that bench, and they were teaching me something every day. And this girl walked by. The girl was probably like 12, 13 years old. And I was on my spiel. And I was on my spiel just spitting knowledge left and right, left and right, left and right. Also, that means that that pentagon thing, the pentagram thing with your vagina and your penis, that also means that women may be gods, but you're God too. Um, that means you're both gods, and she's your spiritual God counterpart. That means we're completely equal. You know what I'm saying? All the rights, and all the types of stuff like that. Um, and we both want the same thing. We both want to reproduce to create everlasting life and have children. So, so I'm on this bench. I think I know all the stuff I'm talking about, and the aliens are teaching me. And one of my teachers is making jokes to me. He was like, "I heard your music." I was like, "What you talking about?" He was using telekinesis. He was listening to my music. He was like, your music sounds like a little girl vagina. He was making a joke. He was busting a joke, and I thought it was a weird joke. You know what I'm saying? Because I was in such a, you know, serious situation. I was like, why would he make a joke like that? And we ain't never played like that. And he aliens. He an alien. And I'm looking down at him, and I got my other homeboy in front of me that I met at the beach, and his name was Bo. He looked like an old gray baboon monkey, and that's another story about how people came from primates, and it's just natural that we would have more hair as we were becoming more natural, and then we would lose our hair and everything would form up through evolution. It's just real simple. We don't really got to go through it. It's just the truth. We were called Lemurians, and you can look that up too. We use levitation, science, and all that. We was monkey people. So we did come from that, and those aliens were very familiar with that, and they made me remember it and taught me all about Lemurians and monkey people and stuff like that. But I looked at him, and his name was Bolt because he had powers. Um, that's another story about the Egyptians being able to use like star power, like sunlight, for their own, personal use to use power. But they used Damien, and Damien was like more of a he could use like he could speak. He was more of a general commander type, not like an aggressive, but he was a very good communicator. But he was like from the jungle. But Boat could use lightning, and that was what part of my tribe that I came from was Damien, a communicator, and like Boat using like electricity because of he was where he was from was like electricity and fire was like Jamaica or something like Southern America and stuff, but he was like darker complected. But I just evolved from that, and they were still aliens and stuff like that. So I saw him in front of me. I was looking at Boat. I was like, why would he bust a joke like that? This shit crazy. Like, what is that? And Damien was talking to me like, that's what it smelled like. So, I mean, not smell like, that's what it sounded like. Basically, they could hear what you was going through at the time and the type of stuff you was rapping. I wasn't rapping to no girls or nothing. I was with my homeboys. Yeah, we was rapping for all women, but he was saying that all the frequencies and universal energy that was coming through you into your music was talking to all these girls and all these kids, and girls were really listening, and you know everybody liked that. Everybody was like listening, yeah, either listening to your music. I mean, not like nature and everything was going through you, and y'all making music and stuff. That's just how things are. Everything always passes through you, and everything makes music. So beforehand, they were teaching me this whole deal. I don't want to have step this, but I'm going to explain this later on in the next video. But they called, speaking to regular people, like average people, everyday people, they called that coffee, like small talk. They called, they called, they were using code word like small talk. Like I said, you can polygraph me. And then they used older women, and they called them wine. You know, it's an average day thing. And then they saw like it was like 20 like 25-year-olds to 35-year-old women. They would call juice. They would call them juice. They were like, that's good to talk. I mean, they were like, that's juicy to talk to because they're so ripe, and they need like a whole lot of babies and stuff like that. It was another rule in the alien kingdom: you do not have sex without creating fruit. Like you do not have sex not to have children. It was a sin. You know what I'm saying? And and the wine, they were just saying that their fruit was getting a little not old or nothing. They were just growing better with time. You know what I'm saying? Um, but they would call like teenagers like 18 to like 25 or 24. They would call them coffee too. They're like regular. And then they had this but they like how they talked to me was through streams of people. So it'd be crowds of people passing in front of me in front of like Muscle Beach and like Muscle Beach. And I'd be sitting there at the basketball court, and I'd be sitting there, and people would pass me, and you had to decipher every single last one of them, or the aliens will be teaching you, and they'll be teaching you about the people that are passing you by, or they'll direct those people through energy to pass you up so they can teach you about them. So they had all them people come back and forth, and they was teaching me all this stuff like that. And hold on, I got people passing me. They're gonna be trying to tune in and all that shit and be nosy. So I'm gonna sit up here and act natural and act like nothing's gonna happen. And basically, I'm acting like, kind of normal because things are happening. And it's just, okay, okay. I did get that look because I am looking, but that's crazy. I was just talking about that, and some people just passed by, but it was more crazy than that. Anybody that's been to Venice Beach know that there's a lot of people passing that place all the time. And you always had to decipher. The aliens also had a family of people up there, so it was like people with kids and all this stuff, and people that's been in cahoots with like aliens, like in Culver City and stuff like that, for a while. You know what I'm saying? Prominent area for the black people, and aliens was black, but they had different other people up there just still stuck to their tribes, but they was all family still. You know what I'm saying? They taught us as such too. So they was like you ready to get schooled and stuff. So before then, they like no, that wasn't before then. So let me say this here. This was like a test. They said you see that there? I was like, yeah. I was like, what is it? They had like 11-year-old or a really young girl passed me up, and I was sitting on the top of the bench, and she was walking past the store, and she was she was involved with the aliens, and she could hear them, and sometimes when you're speaking to these aliens, they don't speak to you directly telekinetically. They'll make you look at a picture or some words, and they'll spell out a word, or they use the syllables of a word like as fuck, like AF or DTF, down to fuck, or um, laugh out loud. I should have said that before I said all those things. LOL. And basically, they did that to describe their powers. So they'll be like, it'll be a word up there like Nike, and it'll be IKE. They'll spell out IKE, and as they hit IKE and highlight it telekinetically, they'll say the word to that letter. And the I, they'll be like I as in I, K as in no, and they'll say no, and they'll be like everything. I know everything, or HIKE, or no, CHE, like I can hear everything type deal. Like they'll say all types of stuff like that. So without like, if there's other aliens by, or people, seeing too many cues and try to figure out the whole thing, like these people were extremely intelligent. These aliens, they had different ball players, actors, philosophers, musicians, b-boys, all types of deals, all types of people up there teaching people, biologists. Like you couldn't phase how deep in knowledge they were. Just from what I just spit from you, it's nothing but facts. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for people to like, you know, jump in this real because they're so block minded from what they've been taught. Even in these universities and schools, they don't even teach our stuff like this because it's crazy. But you look in all types of Bible, just concubines and different information and different continents, they'll tell you this. You know what I'm saying? There's no such thing as the age of consent. Absolutely no such thing as the age of consent. No such thing. Absolutely none. All these other countries, you see the infatuation with the Asian culture, with like little girls and with like short skirts. You see the infatuation with the Pope and the Catholic Church with young children. You see the infatuations with Africa and kidnappings, and you see the infatuation with Latin prostitution of young children. You see the infatuation with the porn industry or the stripping industry or the model industries. We're always getting the youngest ones ASAP and kicking the older ones out because nobody wants to see old people and stuff. But you just gotta eat your fruits and vegetables and stay in the sun, girl. And you straight. You know what I'm saying? The fruit gonna be good. You know, you're supposed to be living for years and stuff, but it's in everybody's resume, they design, they DNA, everything that everybody does is young and ready, young and ready. Everybody want to BS and stuff like that. And they even make shows after it. They hire people. They apply like the youngest person to come in after it, or it's in everybody's design. It's in everything design. You know what I'm saying? Every single thing. They got Ariana Grande. Got models. Models before they used to be curvy, they used to be small and petite. You know what I'm saying? Skinny and come on, man. There's in everything that you see and done. Everything behind doors and everything on in the industry. It is what it is, and biologically, it's completely correct. Um, young males and young females are actually supposed to ingest every single bodily fluid that you eject exject from yourself, because your sperm and your cum is actually a psychedelic. You can actually get high off of that. If you're not going to get like marijuana high, you're not going to get like a super buzz, but it's a psychedelic and it's good for you, especially if you eat everything that you're supposed to eat. You know, yes, you're supposed to poop outside and eat your vegetables and stuff like that. Your anus supposed to be 100% good, but as your fluids come out, it's completely electronical. As it's been said, in these things, if not going in your spouse or your mate, is supposed to be ingested. It's supposed to be ingested, if not back onto nature, into nature. Sex was very celebrated in our ancient ancestors' time, and it's been celebrated all of our lives. I haven't talked about nothing but nymphos and niggers and stuff like that. I know niggers is, they gave that such a bad name, and once I found out the truth, I was like, man, this is incredible, but it's gonna be super hard for me to tell people that. You know what I'm saying? For real, for real. But there's no age of consent, boys or girls. You know what I'm saying? The new thing right now is the R. Kelly thing. Trust me, I know people looking left and right. They try to be like, oh, they trying to jump on them, but man, it's more than taboo. That's what they did, even in Africa, in the native countries, like where they still got tribes. They still got uh, young girls getting pregnant by old dudes out in the jungle. It's still happening all across the world. You know what I'm saying? You can high step it, reference it up, whatever you want to do. It actually is. So how other people in other areas still practicing this? How is this still a native thing? How is this biometrically correct, and people still over here going against their own nature, making these so-called mistakes and being called, pedophiles or sex offenders and stuff like that, when it's an actuality, and the government isn't even seeing up to it biologically and scientifically, so everything can be up and standing and stay that way. Well, they don't want your kids to be too smart. You know what I'm saying? Your sperm, your fluids can actually make you smarter. Sex, as you're re-emitting that light and having sex with each other, that makes you smarter because you're always reconnecting to the universe. And, that also allows your children to speak on the same level as you can. You know what I'm saying? Children start having kids, they start having innocent answers of whether or not they want to kill these kids, and they are kids. If they do get pregnant, um, they start becoming less sensitive. They start becoming more animate and more ambitious towards scientific means. They want to be even more healthier. They want to explore more. They want to have even more children, because by default that's what they know, is that everything is all right. Everybody's not really bad, and we can really have sex with one another, and he's just a man, just like he's a man, and she's a woman, just like she's a woman. As we have more kids and more generations with different siblings and different relatives around us, that also eliminates segregation, and we become more prosperous in unity because then we all become a family. There's no such thing as monogamy. We all become interchangeably sexual and highly sexual and more unified through family bloodlines because we'll be having sex with one another as soon as we're able to have sex with one another, and we'll be as a family, as one. We wouldn't be able to fight each other anymore. Um, you don't do that. You can just continue to put those kids in school. You can continue to work every day. Um, they can institutionalize your kids from birth and make them afraid. Feed them bad things. You can work for the rest of your life. You never come home and take your kids off of the um, out of the front of the TV. The TV's teaching them everything. Also, you get brain juices from milk, from breast milk, and you supposed to keep drinking that milk as long as you get old. You're not supposed to be drinking cow milk because those have embryos in them. You're not supposed to be eating eggs because those are embryos. That means you are getting different building blocks, different proteinic building blocks from animal embryos, from bio I think it's bio skeptically, not skeptically. That when people make a joke that that's what I'm doing. No, these are facts. You can check this out. You'll be getting those building blocks, building chromosomes from that animal into your beings. I didn't mean to get this to go to an hour, but you get those building blocks from those embryos and those membranes from that milk that you're ingesting from them, or those embryos that you're eating, or that cheese or something, into your brain and your being that does not belong there. You need protein, you fatty acids, or anything like that. You get that from plants, animals, and grains. I mean, plants, animals, and grains. No, you get that from plants, grains, and fruits and stuff like that. But but like I said, I'm just, just to be real, I was dealing with a block too. And when Damien told me, he was like, it sounded like he was busting a joke about my song, I'm a Dog. He was like, your song sound like girl pussy, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, this nigga never joked with me like that before. What's going on? Like, he can speak to me telekinetically and just go in my brain and just hit me like that. And I'm like, man, he tripping. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, nah, he was like, nah, this is what I'm talking about. And when they spit it to me and they told me that the little girls, they were like, they called them cream. They called the teenagers, the 18 to 24, coffee, and they called the ones younger than that cream. Like, this makes our coffee better. And if we want some juice, them older ones, the juice is up because all they want to have is sex, sex, sex. They know what they want. You know what I'm saying? Them little ones know, uh no, that's where the cream came from, because they were speaking in different contents. They knew the juicier ones, they knew exactly what they want, but they made their sex game like super juicy. The creams is like they were just completely innocent, and that's all they wanted. They were creamy preemies or something like that. And the coffees was like, yeah, they something to talk about. You know what I'm saying? But let's talk about this juice, and let's talk about this cream now. You take this cream, you bring it over here with this coffee. It's good. You had this juice at lunchtime, you're gonna be off the chain. That wine is just fine. You know what I'm saying? They was on point with it, and that's just how they spoke. And they was like, the cream is really what make your coffee. You know what I'm saying? That's how they was speaking. And these was like grown men. They were like grown men, and they were like, there were different ages there. They had a whole thing going with their children, and everybody was there, and they had a whole camp. They had a whole camp. There's like houses of people that's already doing this, and every tip drill in the world, like around them, just that's just how they was. I mean, that's just how they are, because it's just plainly it's the truth. It's like, you can go on completely. You can go on completely about it, but I just explained it to you, and you can go throughout the whole. You can go out all books, whatever like that. They talking about concubines, Bible days, native days, all the type of stuff. They even religions they talk about religions or people of different continents they'll sacrifice or save women of virgins with virgincies just so you can go out and go do your spiel because they want that little girl with the virgin with her virgincies as a reward for them and stuff like that. Like they'll actually die for that stuff. Like you know what I'm saying? They not saying that the other woman is less valuable or anything like that. But you got to see where this is all coming from. This isn't on me. This is complete fact. And I was like, nah, I ain't with that. I ain't with that. No, I'm like, nah, that's not me. I'm not. You know, that's not what I'm going through. I'm not for the play here with you about that stuff. I don't make jokes like that. It's like, no, we want you to understand because this is the real and this is part of why also why you tripping out here and they're like this is some knowledge that you actually need to get over and actually get to know and actually understand because this is a knowledge that you're actually without and they went through all this stuff and they got me to understand and soon enough it's getting really cold out here soon enough everything made sense and I was like yo these niggas is right this is all true. And I didn't say not once. I was like, I was in there like that. I was like, okay, I've looked a couple times. I admitted it, and then they went back to my childhood, and they brought me back after dimensionalizing me from a place and stuff like that, and scared the bejeebus out of me. And I came back scared, fucking white, fucking white. They scared the fucking black out of my ass, and as they commonly do, as you come back, some other dudes that they've trained or are training, or just they've already passed it and they still working for theirs and stuff like that. They still working for their stripes. They cued me in. They're like, nigga, they was handing out papers. They was blending in to Venice Beach, or they was putting in their work for the aliens because they was out there trying to do the right thing for their community too, and the aliens just came down and helped them too. They was like, shit, we went through that too, homeboy. Like, as soon as we got out of high school, we was still messing with them youngins and all that shit. It was giving to me real. And you go to any of these neighborhoods, these hoods and shit, it's them females is out there. They messing with the biggest dong out there. It ain't no rules or nothing. You go to some of these white neighborhoods, these niggas fuck shit out they daughter, motherfucker. They messing around with they little youngins and stuff. They messing around with the other dudes, girls or cousins or whatever. Or you heard background stories. They don't want to tell the truth about that. These Indian cultures, they women too. You know what I'm saying? Just it's not putting people on blast. It's just how far we've actually gotten from the knowledge of self and sex, in which we've lost that understanding between there is no age when it comes to it. When that child can have a child, that child has the right by nature to have that child, that inkling and that scratch. What starts when? We were like 11, 13? I mean, I was blowing my shower head off the wall, son. Like, I wasn't playing. You know what I'm saying? And my first time was with a 24-year-old down the street. Easy. You know what I'm saying? And my junior high teacher, no, my kindergarten teacher was trying to holler at me. We was not playing. I was almost the same size as her. She was short and I was kind of big. She would ask me how tall I was. My freshman high school teacher was trying to holler at me. Vice versa, when people hitting back those, we already knew coaches was hitting girls and stuff like that, but vice versa, niggas couldn't wait for old girl to hit us up from science lab. Teacher and stuff. It happened to all dudes, all boys. Every single time we were like, man, we can't wait. We don't know what's going on with them. You know what I'm saying? We know we get in trouble if, we knew or something like that. But it's not a ploy on our part. We're not plotting or planning or nothing. We were taught to stay out of it. We of course tell if somebody getting beat up. Of course that if we stand up for them, we didn't have them situations in which we handle ours. It wasn't a thing. But you know what I'm saying? You know, you still get beat up by grown dudes, but you still got to stand up for yours and stuff like that. But because we know it's wrong, of course we a snitch, and they already know the deal. But boy, there's just so much evidence there. It's too much evidence for people to say no. You know what I'm saying? There's no such thing as the age of consent. There's absolutely none. And a lot of people got to deal with their vices and their taboos and stuff like that, not knowing that everybody just has different preferences, and you know, this just is what it is, and it's like fighting their nature. You know what I'm saying? And the society uses their nature, people's nature, against them, and prosecutes them and crucifies them and locks them away forever or something like that. And not telling them the truth after all this information that they have, in order for the whole society to be enlightened, so we can no longer be in dissension. You know what I'm saying? It's a simple fix. Simple fix is all it is, and just knowledge. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is the light. Sex is the savior. You know, regardless if they feed us at all, just know all we got to do is have everlasting life. Keep having sex and keep breeding. And as of an example, 2018 now, you know what I'm saying? Generation after generation, these people are not immortal, but our light, our frequency will continue to play, have a stand in our reality, and we're gonna keep elevating. We won't even have to put ourselves out there. You know what I'm saying? They're just gonna die out. We're gonna have keep having kids, and different people gonna get in these situations, and we're gonna keep elevate. We're gonna keep evolutionizing. You know what I'm saying? No matter what they do. You know what I'm saying? No matter what they do, and we're gonna keep becoming conscious and more conscious, more conscious. It's a design about the water. It's a design of the water being in the air and us continuously being familiar with it. We can sit here and just multiply right here, and as we continue to have generations, we're gonna get more familiar with the water and the frequencies in the air. And everything's gonna be completely clear. We're gonna have clarity. You know what I'm saying? In the water, it's no longer gonna be murky. We will be enlightened. Clarity, clear light, a clear plateau of light. Enlightened. We're going to be enlightened. You know, it's going to keep happening. They can't fight that. As they continue to put themselves out there, they're going to really continue to put themselves out there. We're just going to see the same stuff over and over, and we're going to keep talking about it. These niggas think we stupid. The last nigga that did that. Okay, you think we bullshit? We're going to keep it sold. We're going to keep talking to generation after generation. This is what they've been doing. Okay, this nigga's really bullshitting. We're going to have to do something about them, because they've already showed us by example this is just what they do. You know what I'm saying? And they think we're crazy. We're the same genes. You know what I'm saying? We just fight for the light. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. All these things are really facts. And I said the same thing when I got in trouble or whatnot. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to talk about it, but I'm just not going to talk about it because I don't want to get in trouble, because they don't allow like biologists, or they didn't want to take biologists or anything, or they didn't want to bring Area 51 or the MIB or whatever down to the courts when I was being spoken to by aliens and stuff, and I had all this knowledge. But my attorney did me good, you know what I'm saying? But it's just crazy because I'm such a good debater and so argumentative, because I always know the truth. I would never open my mouth if I didn't know the truth. You know what I'm saying? I said this to my family because I have to help raise my family, and I have to be a man first, or it just wouldn't work. You know what I'm saying? And I realized when I get to court that they was gonna give me more time if I even fought it, and I was like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, first of all, I'm telling the truth. Second of all, I ain't do I ain't do shit. So they wasn't gonna give me more time. Just if I fought it, I was gonna have to stay in there longer. So for me to for me to fight it and take it completely to the box out, they will put me in jail. So they were basically saying you have the right. Um, they were like they say that you're innocent until proven guilty. That was a lie. They lying to you on that. And then when they take you in there and your attorney try to help you out and stuff, not saying that she didn't, it's just a different situation for different people in which they do not need to go through this because of what they ask you to do. And what they ask you is like in my case, it was just nothing shrugging shoulders because it was just it's not, you know, it wasn't an evidential thing. I was really talking to aliens and I was, really tripping. I was having problems. I was really talking to aliens and what I was talking about was really fact. They didn't really want to go to trial about that, and they wasn't going to take it to the Supreme Court. And my attorney didn't want me to go to jail, and I had some stuff going on the outside, and I was not feeling that. People was dying for medical reasons. It was not jail's not the place to be. They don't even care about you in there. So you gotta get out. You gotta get out as soon as you can. If not, you gotta find a way to, you know, bunker down, or bug down, and just stay up in there and just do your thing. Because it's hard when you get to prison. They got some iPhones and iPods and all clothes, and buying Jordans and nachos and all types of shit up in there. That's a different story, but I ain't talking about that. It's still dangerous up in there too, but I'm just saying it was just hard. You know what I'm saying? Just you're sleeping on bunk beds as tight as Tetris in that bitch, and just man, fuck no. So basically, they blackmail you and just be like, hey, you take this plea bargain. But like I said, it wasn't so hard for me because I wasn't dealing with much time. But they bring you in there and they ask you, do you understand by you taking this plea bargain, you giving up your constitutional rights? So I'm like, so now you guys are blackballing me, y'all hardballing me into taking a plea deal, and you tying that to taking away my constitutional rights? First of all, you cannot do that. That's against the Constitution itself. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, that's against a person's civil rights. The Constitution and its civil rights. That's inhumane. That means you want or can do anything to me once I say yeah now, just because of a misunderstanding that you didn't want to get into, or y'all don't want to be innovative or applianceable, not applianceable, but applicationable or adaptive to uh, scientific truths to make the world better. And these people talking about they control this and that and the other, but y'all ain't never helped nobody out. But y'all got all this power, and this is what y'all choose to do, is just to lock people up and just find new ways to make people slaves and stuff. Oh man! And then you gonna sit up here and lie and say that you can take away my rights, and you know you can't because it says that you cannot, and I have laws in place saying that you have to respect me as a person. You know what I'm saying? You can't ask me. That's you literally forcing me and saying that that's against the law. That's against nature. You know what I'm saying? My nature is being like, okay, nigga, I'm not stupid. Like, okay, I'm not dumb. You really just forced me to say that you can do anything to me and put it or typed it or wrote it on paper. Now, okay, now it says we can do absolutely anything to this man. By nature, if I ever see y'all and y'all talk about this stuff, I should throw uh, a harpoon through y'all hearts. You know what I'm saying? Because of that buffoonery and that disrespect that y'all would do to another human being, try to place them in a position so they give up all their rights as a human. Like, why would you even have a person do that to themselves if you didn't have a certain intent behind it? Would you plan on taking them to Chuck E. Cheese or something? No, man, they plan on doing something with that information. So you have to do it. You know what I'm saying? That's not right. None of that is right. You know what I'm saying? They're in the most dissension out of anybody because they believe they can do that to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Aliens had telekinetic power over me, and they constantly informed me. They were like, if anybody has you in a box, like Damien's, everybody had like a speciality. Damien's speciality, he was one of my main teachers, my alien main teachers, and his speciality is that he had an infatuation and obsession with the monkey in the box, an intellectual primate that was able to manufacture the universe around him with the light within him, trapped in a laboratory box or a padded room. So he was like an escape artist. Damien was like he was infatuated with the art of escape. So he always put themselves in like mental cages, or put themselves in like physical boxes, or put them in situations that puts him against all odds. And he taught me, you know what I'm saying? So but he taught me to always know how in different perceptions that this isn't being trapped. So, you know what I'm saying? So people that have this infatuation with you and have an infatuation over you enviously, like racism, or locking you up in mass incarcerations, they're having an emotion called voyage, in which they want to believe that they're God so much that they love you, that they're loving you obsessively, to the point that they're hurting you because you're giving them the power to be God. But it's really because they're seeing you, the people, as your God, and they love having that power over you so much that they're loving you so hard to the point that it's hurting us, that it's hurting you. You know what I'm saying? So they're really not in charge. They're really just dealing with a part of their lives that they need to get out of because it's really hurting them. You know what I'm saying? And just to talk about past lives, and really how they will view their life and how they actually live in their lives. It's crazy because these judges, these cops have to wear uniforms. These judges, they can't be seen out in public. Some people got to be held in like uh, fenced communities and stuff like that. It's like, if you were so for the people, if the justice system was so for the people, why do you need protection? If you're a cop and you're an honorable person, why do you need protection? Why do you need to hide? You know what I'm saying? If you're really doing what you're supposed to be doing, people want to be fooled by these notions, this and that, left and right, but it's factual. You know what I'm saying? An earnest man has nothing to worry about. This this past, what philosopher said it is absolute truth. If you were such great people that were doing great things, people would have parades behind you on Walmart. No one would care. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely not. They just wouldn't. No one would care at all. People wouldn't trip on you. You wouldn't have to worry about nothing. Assassins, nothing. Assassin's Creed, nothing. Nobody would trip on you. People would give you food because they will love you. Will be a superhero. You will literally be a hero for real. If you was out there doing what you're supposed to be doing. A judge right after the elections let go like all juvenile hall, and he was like, I knew what you guys wanted, too bad y'all didn't vote for me, or something like that. And everybody loved him for it. So y'all know that these kids ain't even supposed to be in jail. Our children that we're birthing out, that we absolutely love and love making, and y'all know that we don't want our children in jail. What do you call adult people? They're not children no more. You know what I'm saying? You call them adults. I kind of messed up, but it is what it is. But like, what do you call, like, these people are still people, from embryos to babies, to you know boys to men. You know what I'm saying? There were women up in there that CEOs were having a good time with. No matter how you put it. And then you even have judges going through the same deal. You know what I'm saying? The last judge that I had was black, and he was cool. He answered me tit for tat. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, you talking to me. I done had judges not say nothing, completely judge me for what I'm doing. I'm glad I'm not in the 70s no more. I wouldn't have never got out. You know what I'm saying? Because they would have been trying to judge me. Or so, all that stuff like that, and it was real. You know what I'm saying? So they just got me off because I was tripping, and it was like, okay, luckily, not luckily, it wasn't for chance. I still had like a medical condition tripping on me because I had one of my organs was tripping, and they just tied that all together, and they use statistics to call everybody mentally, ill in like 20 in the 2000s, so they can bring it back to these corporations and say we need more medication so they can get more billions of dollars, and they'll never fix the incarceration system or reform it because they'll be like, oh, it's the mental system, and we can't let these mental people out here without supervision or something like that, so on and so forth. So we can keep more tabs on you, give you more medicine, more side effects, and they'll say there's nothing wrong with these societies that y'all come from. You know what I'm saying? It's just they just want to rack up these numbers so that there's never any reform. They just call you guys crazy, you know, or gang affiliated or something like that. And being in the gang is just as natural as having a tribe. You know what I'm saying? And even, you know, a lot of the OGs really, you know, they were tribal leaders and shooting for the light. It wasn't until they took away these people leaders until they started, and the people that took away their leaders was feeding, you know, drugs and guns and, you know, um, um, bad information amongst one another to get them to fight one another and stuff. You know what I'm saying? We was all really cool, all black Mexican skinheads, all of them. Everybody was cool, but yeah, like it just isn't right. Completely isn't right. It's not even a fair trial. You know, not even a fair trial. All these aliens taught me all this information, and they didn't even want me to go to court for it. They just threw some stuff in my. They just threw some stuff in my way, and just was like, "Oh, no, we ain't going through none of that. We don't want to hear it, even if it is the truth. You know, it's not a. That's not a trial. Y'all not even trying to learn anything yourselves, and then you know, it's just manipulative power. That's why biotechnology is so great, because really what's holding this together, this is where this really hits the fan, because all the stuff that's just holding it together is just guns and cages. You know what I'm saying? Because what you really doing is a bad thing, and nobody believed that the rooster would come back to croak. You know what I'm saying? And what if somebody come over here with like bigger guns, or somebody develops a bigger weapon? What if these aliens come down and they've been hearing this whole spiel of what's been going on between everybody? You know what I'm saying? And they can reach our minds, or these gangs, or these these um these liberist army these liberist armies, these revolution armies been keeping tabs on all these politicians and stuff like that, and they come out bigger than y'all could ever come out, and they actually hold y'all up and they go, you know, it's all love, it's gonna be all love, and it's gonna be televised, and they hold y'all up and they're like, you know, y'all been lying this whole time, killing people, you know, healthcare, putting people behind bars and all this stuff, and you wouldn't even listen to reason. What do you have to say about yourself now? Because now you're exposed, and you know we're extremely smart and intellectual. You're not gonna fool us anymore. What do you have to say for yourself? And all those people are gonna think about all these people that's been putting us behind bars, feeding us bad food and stuff like that. All they're gonna be able to think about is, man, I hope they don't kill us. Man, I hope they don't put us behind jail for behind bars for the rest of our lives, because we're the real sinners around here. There won't be any money anymore. I'm completely broke. I don't know what these people are gonna do to me, because you're completely, you know, you're completely, you're completely at fault. You're completely in sin. You're completely right. Like you're completely right. You're 100% guilty. You're more guiltier than any criminal that's ever been criminalized. It's been you. It's been them. You know what I'm saying? So they think that day is never gonna happen. Whether you die, you're gonna die. You're gonna turn into energy, and we still gonna see you. You know what I'm saying? All this misinformation, all this miscommunication, all this corruption, we gotta be 100% serious, man. One day it's gonna happen, and we're gonna see the light, and those people gonna be standing there, and they ain't gonna know how to fight, and we're gonna be looking at them like, man, they did all of us dirty. Man, I don't know what to tell them. Well, I don't know. It's just best that they just, you know, wise up and just cut it out. I mean, especially that we all like coming forth and coming together, and we got so many ways to make revenue. All these companies now gonna weed out. Everybody gonna be for each other, and then we gonna keep looking at them as they keep busting out these charades, and we gonna like, they think we stupid. Like, man, shout out to Soldier Boy and Shawty Low. You know, I was in high school when that happened. I had to stay kind of relevant, I guess. I was in high school when that happened, and Soldier Boy he was getting roasted, not roasted. He was just getting grilled by a lot of OGs because he made he was making the blueprint at the time, and he just had a lot on his shoulder. He didn't expect all that. He wasn't really copycatting. Back in the days, you were supposed to shout out. You were supposed to shout out your the nigga that you stole the flow from. You were supposed to shout him out, but one of the triple OGs gave him a pardon because if they saw that if they saw Soldier Boy while he was in the industry, they was gonna handle up on him, and the game was changing so much. If they would have handled up on Soldier Boy at the time, they probably would have tried to kick hip hop out for being too rough, and we were already on a microscope. And during that time, because we had so much real niggas going around, niggas was sagging all types of stuff, and sagging is normal, but it's just us being ourselves. But they were still skeptical about like letting real niggas in, and because we were making such great music, we could just overflood the market like we did and just kill everything like we are now too. And they were like the game was changing so much, and Soldier Boy was the first one to bust him up. Um, they didn't want to mess up the money. They didn't want to mess up the money. They didn't want to mess up the opportunities because we gave them one excuse to just drop some people. I mean, drop Soldier Boy or whoever came up in there because of some hip hop beat because Soldier wasn't like blasting off. Then would have messed it up for all of us. They just gave them another excuse just to kick us out of something else until we got came upon real situations to actually have another opportunity to get in the game. But the industry was like so big, and we was getting so much more money. Not more money, we was getting so much more opportunity, and the transition from like going out there and doing groundwork just turned to like a YouTube game. You just upload, and you can reach people differently now. So they peep game, and they didn't really hit up Soldier Boy like that. I think he said something to Snoop Dogg. I think Soldier said something to Snoop Dogg, or I think Soldier Boy kind of sided. No, I think Snoop Dogg kind of sided with him because no, he didn't side with him. They was just teaching us the game. I think it was a magazine. In a magazine, Snoop. It was in the magazine. I think it was in a recent magazine at that time. It was like an exclusive, and everybody was reading it. Or it was an interview, and they were just talking about it. Like, yeah, anything that ever happened, he was like he quoted like 40 Mac or something like that. He was like, man, I just want to let you know, this and that and the other that I may have used one of your lines or something like that. And it was like, you just gotta pay homage to people. And Soldier Boy heard us, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody was still real back then, everybody was still connecting, and we still abided by the G code. And Soldier Boy heard us, and that's when he came out with um that shouty low line. It was like it's like he wasn't necessarily from the suburbs, no, but he was like from the real hood or nothing like that. So his invitation was like favored to us, and since he wasn't like necessarily like from the hood, he didn't really have to shout anybody out. But he was still learning, what it really meant in the hood. It wasn't like how Soldier Boy is now. Like he stood up and he talking all this mad stuff. It wasn't like that. The niggas was cold. They was hard. Like niggas could fight, 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 fight. Like it wasn't nothing like it was. As soon as he was done. Like it was, man, it's harder than DMX out there. Like it was not a game at all. You know what I'm saying? Like Soldier Boy was the last person we would have talked about, mopping somebody. It was really hard out there. No lie, it was really hard. So Soldier Boy gave us some he gave us some feedback. He really told us he really let us know that he heard us by coming out with that record that he uh was like shouting out Shawty Low from, and he also let us know that's why he did it, to bring more awareness to the song. I don't know exactly if he did it on purpose, but I remember he that was another way of him like showing his appreciation by like doing that, because but what he said, it was like um, he was like, that's not even how he rap. He just tried something new because everybody had their own style, and as everybody had their own style, we just knew if you bit somebody and something, if you used them as a soundbite, we ran up and we knew who it was. You know what I'm saying? So we heard it and we knew, you know what I'm saying? But we were like, oh, we saluting that. And then, but all the real niggas was like super hard on them, and they was like, hey, you better shout them out. You better shout them out. And then the OGs, triple OGs had to save them and be like, man, he in the industry. You got to let him do his thing, getting exposure for shouting and stuff like that. So it was a lot of politics. All we were just trying to do is keep it real, like how we doing now. We, talking about the mumble rappers. We just want quality work. That's all it is. That's all we want is just quality work. It's nothing hard to say about it. That's all we want is just quality work. You know what I'm saying? Because we just want to evolutionize ourselves. We just want to continue that evolution from this great product that we got. It's more than the product. It's our soul. That's what it is. We know that. We ain't up here dunking from free throw lines for nothing. We didn't like Michael Jackson, Prince, all these people. No matter who you name it, black people so great at a lot of things, man. Mostly everything we didn't beat everybody out of. It's just you know it's just how we were made. We're not better than anybody. We just have that ability to excel like that. That's just part of our element. We're great like that, but you know. We just want to evolutionize from that, and how we do that, we just get great work from all people of all different kinds. Not only black but all different races. You know what I'm saying? And we just want it to be good. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree with that Eminem's not the king of hip hop. I wouldn't say that, but hip hop is for everybody, so there is no king because we all kings. J Cole or J Rock. Um, yeah, it was J Rock, but Eminem paid his dues and he got his stripes for what he did. You know what I'm saying? So he is a king in hip hop. That's how we used to say, like, he's a king. He's a king here. We are kings. What's up, God? You know what I'm saying? We know what we're talking about and stuff like that. But it is what it is, and we'll finish this information later. This is what I got, and I should be uploading this Wednesday, January 23rd. Once again, my name is Ronald J. Love. Signing out. Captain's log 45739. Count it later. Um, I met aliens. I'm just a nigga from the hood. Just wanted to help my communities, and the aliens gave me the truth. And I'm not crazy. I'm not tripping. These are all facts. You can go look them up yourself. Please do not try to come after me. And these are all facts. I done said everything I had to say. I have a whole lot more videos to make. Everything is coincide with biologics of nature. It's completely. I referenced it all the way back to the dirt and the nature of everything and everything that coincides with everybody else's behavior. You know what I'm saying? I haven't said nothing about myself. These are just facts, complete facts. You know what I'm saying? You can do your own research. I'm just telling you. And it is what it is. I just hope the world continues to grow from it, and I'm just doing the best I can to help it move along. The message is that life must go on, and we've been here for billions of zillions of years. We can't sit up here and just build a highway and some tunnels and be like, oh, we just shit. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, it's 10 billion years this planet been here. We built a tunnel. We think we just run it. You know what I'm saying? No, it's you got blades of grass in this. You know, if y'all stop maintaining this place 10-year span, it's gonna be grass there, and y'all gonna be looking like, oh man, like yeah, it's about to fall in a couple years too. Thought you was just the stuff. All this jungle stuff is gonna overtake everything over here without a problem, without you being here or not, with you being here or not. I mean, and it's also a story that's been told from alien society or just our society period that people have tried this before. They try to build cities over nature, and it wasn't biometrically compatible with nature in order to evolutionize with it. And it says it's in different religions. If it does not fall under me, it will not stand. That means nature. If it does not fall with me, under me, with me, it, including yourself, it just will not stand. It will not last forever. And that's very true. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, yeah. So you get a lot more power and self-reliant energy that way too. If people don't want to listen, but it is what it is. So, one love. I love y'all. And I got more videos to drop. And all right. Thank you and have a good night. Nigga, stop.